I didn't. But
How about
he's-
EDC saying to him, like, there's no reason why you can't be in this league for 12, 13 years or whatever. Like, he had like double-digit years for him. How about, I mean, that's just, and then he talks
yeah,
about how Zach Orr was like his inspiration. And
what I
when we
learned
made the
today,
call.
and I want to bring on Sarah. I want you to be able to say hi to our next guest, okay?
Okay.
Especially with Don C. Fellas, hope you're ready. Hope you can hear me back there. This is my friend Sarah from the Purple Rain podcast. I always kind of consider them like you have the sister stations, radio stations,
Yeah.
but these guys are both like really cool, really good friends of mine. I go on their channel for the draft, and they have helped me out so much. That is SimplyAS10. You may know him from his highlight videos
Oh,
and
for
edits
sure.
on Twitter.
Yes, that's me.
That is Simply. And the man, the only person I've heard with a better voice than this man is Ruben Lowry. I don't know if you peeped that today, Sutton. This is SuttonDef. Sutton, Simply say hi to Sarah because I got to get Sarah out of here. She's a busy woman, a hardworking woman.
Yeah.
What's up,
Sarah,
guys?
Nice meeting you.
Nice meeting
you.
You do have a great voice. That is like very radio friendly, very good. And Simply, I've seen a ton of your videos. Love it.
Thank
I
you.
feel like I'm meeting a celebrity tonight.
No.
And
Thank
you do
you.
a lot of good work
Thank
in the community too. Thank you for what you do for the Ravens community, honestly.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, I just feel lucky that I'm sure you guys feel lucky that we just get to sit around and talk football so much.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
It's always a pleasure. Yeah. Especially with Jason, man. Jason's, again, like you said, we're good friends. You've been on his channel he's been on our channel multiple times. During the draft, we rely on him. We lean on him so heavily because he's like so well read with all of these college players, and we say enough about him. So again, Jason, thanks for having us on, man.
Man, love you guys so much, and we'll get to catch up. But I wanted to give you a chance to meet Sarah, and especially, like I said, Sarah, these guys ride with me from the beginning, non-judgmental, bring me on, and they'll help me out. If I got an empty show or regular guests can't make it, these dudes will make time out of their schedule for me, and that is that's what it's all about, man. So
listen, that's great to have. Like, I think we all know in the content world, you always have to have new content. It's always got to be new content, and so to have somebody to rely on and create content with you. Some days it's easy, like today. Some days, like today, like you can't get it all in, but then there are other days, say like in July, in the beginning of July or June, and you're like, all right, well, the show must go on. So it's nice to have, you guys are like, sound like you're like Jason's security blanket, like a Mark Andrews or an Isaiah Likely. It's like these guys are your security blankets.
Low key, might be.
Or, yeah.
Yeah. They definitely are. They definitely are. So thank you guys, all you guys for coming on. But Sarah, good luck. You got another show in like 14 hours or less.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Jason, I just got to say one thing. You asked me a question when I first came on, and then we went down a rabbit hole. I just wanted to say, I thought for sure Emory Jones was headed for a red shirt rookie season. I was convinced of that. For rookies to miss all of OTAs, the rookie mini camp, training camp, I was like, he's done for. Like, I mean, he's good. His tape is good, but I thought he was done for. So for EDC to come out to answer your question that he'll be back sometime soon and he expects him to contribute this year, that like reopened the door for me. And I'm here for it because, they had to let go of some developmental guards today. And it's nice to know that Eric DaCosta still sees something this year. So the door's back open.
You know what, Sarah? I didn't even think of that, but when Dillinger and Dalcourt both didn't come back, I should have saw that as a good sign for Emory Jones.
Right.
I didn't even cross my mind, really. But yeah, that's great stuff. And Sarah, if you'd like me to come on and do film studies during the year, ultimate respect for Coach Evans, Coach DC, Cole Jackson. But I'd be more than happy to put something together for you during the regular season and coming over there. You got my DM. You got my email. You can have my number. It's cool. It's all good. But Sarah Ellison, ladies and gentlemen, my favorite. Love you so much. Take care of the girls in there. And Jabari Cruz Ellis with a super chat, just saying hi, Sarah from the Vault. Tell Bobby not to work too hard this season. Yeah, right. Bobby's like the hardest working person, seriously, I've ever seen.
Oh yeah.
He gets trolled a lot on our channel because they call him sickly because he gets sick a couple times every season. And it's like, it's why people think I'm like, I keep trying to tell him not to drink like the energy drinks or whatever, because he wants to go so hard. And I'm like, but you got to like, this is like a marathon. This is not a sprint. So I keep trying to encourage him not to drink the energy drinks just because he crashes later.
He's a one-speed dude. Hard. He's a one-speed guy.
Well, and most of us are, right?
It's either
go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, it's either that or he's eating at some of the same food spots Lamar Jackson likes to eat at during the season.
Oh,
you know, that's why he's getting
pizza.
sick every now and then.
Oxtail pizza.
Yeah, oxtail pizza. Exactly. We talk about it all the time on our channel. You got to stop with that.
Yes.
Yeah, you know, when Bobby's like, "Yeah, I'm in, you know, whatever part of the country. What are you doing there? Oh, it's a conference for this business and doing that." I'm like, man, this dude is serious. Like, I don't even want to buy a new camera to invest, and he's taking trips around the country doing stuff, man. The man's a monster. He's got a lot of my respect.
He's got a lot going on. Yeah, he's a great business partner. I definitely feel like I struck gold for sure.
Sarah, I'll see you at the latest through draft time, but I hope to catch up before this playoff run at least, maybe a bye week or something. Anytime you'd like to come on, man, red carpet for you. Thanks for everything that you do.
Yeah, no, we are. Bobby and I have talked about doing a Tuesday film study day, and we talked about the different local film study breakdown people. You named a few of them with Coach Evans and Cole and all 22 and you. So we were talking about we need to reach out to all four of them and see who's interested to kind of do a rotation for like a film breakdown on Tuesday. So we'll definitely be in touch.
Yeah, you know you can count on me anytime. I would give those guys their opportunity to shine too, but I'm there, and I'll definitely do it up.
Appreciate it, Jason.
All right, Sarah. Have a good night. Take care.
Nice meeting everybody. Have a good one.
Nice meeting you.
All right, Sarah. See you. Sarah
Ellison, ladies and gentlemen. And hey, man, Jabari. Sorry, it's like exciting time in here. Well, what's up to you, man? Haven't seen you in a while. And to the chat, doing my best with the chat tonight. But this isn't like our normal show where we got the topic bars all over the place and everything. A lot of in and out. So I'm happy to see Sut. I'm happy to see Simply in his early bedtimes these days. I've been missing you guys.
Yes.
It's just so great to see you, man. It's just so great to see you. Hey, and what do we got here? God's like reaction. Help me out, Simply, with the name. Godlike Creations, right?
Godlike Creations. Yes.
I love that name, bro. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure I got it right. What's up, good people? What's up, man? What's up? Nice look with the hat there and the old Raven insignia. So here's a good one for you. Simply kick us off. Thoughts on the throwback helmet with the the shield and the flying bee?
I am a jersey connoisseur. I collect jerseys of every sport, and I absolutely love it. When it gets released eventually, I'll be the first one to buy it. Like, 100%. I already have the old hats, old jerseys, but and I'm not gonna get the knockoffs, full $180 version. Get me a number 8 jersey in the with the old Raven bird or the shield. I don't care.
So you're hoping just to you want it added to your collection too. It's not
100%. Oh, and we would look amazing with it. Like, are you kidding me? Like the way like some of our guys wear the uniform, like Marlon with the sleeves, Nate Wiggins, imagine it with like the 2 mouthpieces and the helmet. Come on now. Like, just think about how nice that would look right now. Just thinking about it coming out like a nighttime game. Like it. I'm getting goosebumps right now. We need new jerseys.
Sometimes, Sutton, I gotta say, you get the alternate opinion here. So, are you going to be the guy that's not with the flying bee? I could see you being that guy.
I'm not with the flying bee, Jason. I'm really not, and I'll tell you why. I feel like that style of kind of like is more retro. It's more kind of like gladiator-ish. That's what it reminds me of. Kind of like those gritty, hard games. We don't have the dogs for those uniforms. Just don't, straight up, just like that. Jeez. We don't have the dogs for it in 2025. If it was a Ray Lewis, if it was some of those guys from back in the day, some of those hard hitters, those heavy hitters, yeah, I'd say let's go ahead and let's get those back. But for me, again, kind of zooming out from that a little bit, I'm not the biggest fan of a lot of the retro logos. I like the more modernized look. I mean, I know I may get some crap for that because everybody likes the throwbacks, the historic stuff, and Alex really loves it, but I don't know. I'm more for like the modernized stuff. That's what I am. That's where I'm at.
I love it. But you are all in on the all black unis, right? So I might have to remove you from the show. Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
So we're wearing the All Blacks versus the Lions week 3 on Monday Night Football, and the Purple Rising on Thanksgiving against Cincinnati. Am I correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yes. I think I saw that tweet. So yeah, well, I hope we mix it up during the season and maybe bring back the black unis another time. But yeah, night game, especially like for what you're saying, Taurus, on a night game in Baltimore. Like I know the purple rising is cool, but man, I'm a sucker for the black on black, bro. It's just so hardcore coming out in that stadium for that. So, man, I wanted to get you guys' opinion on Jay Higgins. Something that stood out from his press conference. He said he was used to being underestimated and pointed out that he sat for 3 years at Iowa, did not play on defense, just played special teams at Iowa. We were talking about him earlier, just the pure linebacking chops. I didn't even mention in that assertion, Sutton. I'll come to you first on this one. How clean he looked in his drops and just understanding what's going on all around him. Like as soon as the route would clear in front of him, he would take an extra few steps back, get an extra 3 to 5 steps depth. He knows how to sneak a look, to find out how, because the receivers, they got all the freedom. They see where you're dropping. They can flatten their route a little bit. So you can't just automatically know what's going on behind you. I mean, I think that's a myth. But Jay Higgins in the run defense, the anticipatory stuff, he is just a monster. I said with Sarah, so I wanted to kick it back to you. If Trenton Simpson goes on the similar path as last year and they want to replace him at will, I'm thinking Higgins probably gets the first chance at that because he's a more veteran linebacker than the other rookie. They're both rookies, but Jay Higgins with that veteran feel.
Yeah, I mean, the only reason I would disagree with the last part of what you said is because, I mean, they did spend higher draft capital on a Teddy Buchanan. So I think with that being said, he's more than likely going to get the nod to get some playing time if Trenton Simpson were to struggle, especially earlier in the season. Now, I actually really like what I saw from Teddy Buchanan as well. I know he has his detractors and pass coverage, things like that. But I think for a rookie, again, I mean, I saw some really good things from him blowing up some screens. He was instinctual on a couple of different plays. But when you talk about a Jay Higgins, man, I said this, I was live with Coach Evans the other day. I said that Higgins reminds me of like a mad linebacker, like when you're using the linebacker in Madden, right? And you can like lurk all over the field. What are you doing when you have a linebacker? You're trying to use that hit stick. You're going to hit really field, things like that. He does all of those things and all those things really, really well. And like you mentioned today at his press conference, he actually said as well that he talked about Roquan Smith and how he doesn't always kind of know what he's doing on the field, but like it just kind of comes to him, but he just knows exactly where to be, and like having those sort of instincts, and Jay Higgins kind of understanding that at the young age that he's at, I think it speaks volume to, his work, knowledge of the game. And honestly, he's probably, the most linebacker. He's probably the linebacker I'm most excited for going into this season out of all of them, because if he gets his opportunity, I think he can definitely make waves on this defense.
But you think Teddy would get the first chance because he's a higher draft choice, or how do you see that playing out? Or is it like a to be determined in practice type thing? So like I feel like Higgins would be the first man in at will.
I mean, I just think that it's going to come down to like one of those practice things. Again, John Harbaugh is very, very big on who's performing well in practice, who can, be able to translate that into the game. So if Teddy Buchanan is doing what he's supposed to do, which, we've watched his interviews before, we've listened to Coach about him, all good things. Same thing about Jay Higgins. So if both of those guys are kind of like on the same course, I think, again, they'll give the nod to the higher draft pick.
Alex, I'm going to come to you next, but I wanted to give a shout out, someone I haven't seen for a while, my guy Percy, with the predictions, 3,900 yards, 37 touchdowns, 925. And he's got Derrick Henry going for 15 and Keaton going for 5. Justice 235. All right, Percy. Those are realistic numbers. A lot of times when fans put out numbers, it's like I want 5,000 for Lamar and 2,000 for Derrick Henry, and they better get Keaton the ball too. It's like, well, that's not going to happen. Like if we're having that level of offense, then our defense isn't playing well enough. So Percy, I just wanted to bring up your predictions just to say hello to you, buddy. It's great seeing you back in. Hope you check in with us throughout the season. Percy, when he brings his opinions in, they are strong. And he also says Higgins is more prepared. I get you. So simply go on to you, buddy. I don't know. I'm putting like I said to Sarah, I'd say 60, 65% chance that if Trenton comes out during the early downs, that Jay Higgins is up. Are you more with me? Where do you sit on this?
Well, first off, I hope Simpson doesn't come out, number one, because I think his skill set and what he brings physically, complements Roquan so much. I think the speed complements him. Don't want to compare to Patrick Queen, but I think Trenton Simpson taking his next step benefits his defense a lot more than other younger guys making that big step. But I do think they'll lean more towards Buchanan for the reason just the draft picks. They use I think a 4th round on him, so they want to get him to get his time. But we have seen we've guys like Christian Welch and Chris Board came in last year for Trenton Simpson, so those guys were off the street. Didn't really matter at that point. Can you help us? And that's kind of where the whole practicing comes in. If you're making a difference in practice, you'll get the game time. But I do want to ask you this because I don't think we brought it up. We have a new inside linebackers coach, Tyler Santucci, I believe. I want to ask you, how much do you think he's really helped develop these linebackers compared to years prior? Because the linebackers coach we had last year, one and done. Before that, Zach Orr, and then before that was Rob Ryan. So we've had a high turnover rate in this department of coaches. Can't be good for a young linebacker get a new coach every single year.
That's a great point. And how rare is it for the Ravens to just one and done a position coach? Yeah. They pride themselves on developing their coaches, turning them into the defensive coordinators, on the defensive side, or they get jobs like Anthony Weaver or Denard Wilson, upgrade somewhere else. So, that is true. It's been, especially the Rob Ryan thing was just not a good look. And I, from forgetting the coach last year, I can picture him giving the speech pregame. But yeah, for him to be out one and done, I'm guessing that Coach Santucci is just going to have to be an upgrade by default because the Ravens don't give up on you after 1 year unless they're not happy with the job you're doing as a coach.
Yeah, and he had spoke, I think at the press conference last week. I was listening to some of what he said. It sounds like then again, I can't say that with all confidence. I can't say with all confidence that he's ready to coach at this level because if I'm not mistaken, he was a college coach for the past couple of years, right?
I think this is his debut in the NFL. So that's what I heard.
Yeah, exactly. And so that. Yeah, exactly. Thank you. It was just me, but I think that's what kind of gives me a little bit of pause when I'm thinking about a guy like Tyler Santucci. Can he kind of come in and really, because linebacker is one of those groups on the Ravens that probably need a little bit more help because it has less perceived talent, right? Of course, we know Roquan is going to be what Roquan is, but in terms of all the other young guys, you need a guy in there who's going to be able to develop a Trenton Simpson, Teddy Buchanan, Jay Higgins, all of those guys. So I guess it's just one of those things we're going to have to wait and see, but I don't have the most confidence in it as of right now. I'll just say that I don't.
So I want to move on to the other UDFA the only one we haven't talked about. I got to talk a little bit about Keon Martin with Sarah, but Ruben Lowry, what stuck out to me, other than his voice sounds as good as Sutton's, is that he's got this CEO mindset. When I hear him speak, the way he frames things, the way he thinks, the way he processes information, the way he's able to communicate. He just seems like wherever he would work, he would be a boss. And mechanical engineering, a program sponsored by NASA, he was in at University of Tennessee, Chattanooga. So he's a smart guy, but that doesn't always translate to the field. Like Ryan Fitzpatrick went to Harvard and threw a bunch of interceptions. So Ruben Lowry, smart on the field, smart off the field. But I don't know. I saw a comment in there, maybe it was from Jeremiah, saying that he thinks Ruben Lowry is going to get the playing time right away out of all the UDFAs. And I could see that too, because what I'm thinking simply is that Ruben Lowry might be Starks's direct backup. So in other words, if something happens to Starks, you don't want to take Kyle out of his Mr. Everything, we paid you $100 million to do everything role. We don't want Kyle babysitting the back end. Maybe Lowry is that guy that they trust at free safety. So Kyle can keep being Kyle. And simply to me, that would be insane to it's hard enough to get that job as a rookie. We're already relying on a rookie at free safety, but to trust a UDFA in that role, But when I hear Lowry talk, I'm like, you know what? I can kind of see it because this guy played in the post, played strong safety, played a little bit in the slot, said he did it at college too. I didn't get the Chattanooga tape. You know what I mean? Like, it's hard to find that stuff for me to tell you. But I can see it, bro. I can see it. So, yeah, I threw a lot of thoughts back out at you, Ruben Lowry. Free safety, though. Could he be Malachi's direct backup?
I think so. I don't think Kane would be the direct backup for Starks at all. And obviously, our Darius is out until, I mean, I'm not even going to put a time frame, December maybe, just to play it safe, which I'm not mad at it. But being a UDFA, getting thrown into this Ravens defense with this much talent is a huge ask. I'm not going to say he's not up for it, but he would definitely get targeted. So I hope that, worst case scenario, knock on wood, if that were to happen, we at least protect him a bit, throw Kyle back there with him for not the whole game, but, let him get some reps. But I just have a fear of them, him coming in and just targeting him instantly. It's a UDFA guy back there, like you said, Tennessee, Chattanooga, not the best competition. Now, let's say we're up against, it's week 5, week 6, we have, I think, the Texans in town. You have Nico Collins at you. You have Higgins from Iowa State at you. Throw him at, and what are you going to do? So I don't want it to happen, but it's a real possibility he can get thrown in there.
Would they have that kind of confidence, Sutton, or do they just move Kyle back to free safety and place Sanusi Kane, who they have a little bit better feel for if something happened to Starks for a few games in the regular season?
Well, no, I think it's one of those things like we were talking about with the linebackers. If Ruben Lowry, shows up to practice, puts his head in the dirt, really works hard, and grabs it out. When that time comes, if it were to come, if Malachi Starks were to go down for whatever reason, yeah, I think that they inject Ruben Lowry into that. And here's why. I think that the biggest thing that the Ravens like about Ruben Lowry, and you kind of alluded to, is saying that he's a CEO. Yeah, he does everything, right? He does everything. He came in, he was at first playing, corner and nickel for the Ravens, and then they move him around to safety. So it's just like they're kind of doing something in such a young player, this versatility and kind of like that chess piece ability, kind of like what they can do with a Kyle Hamilton, right? They can move him around different points of the field. Anybody who's that versatile, yes, you're going to have him in short order to the starter, back starter. I definitely think that Ruben Lowry, him making this team was huge for us. I think we're going to need some depth at that, in the DB position just in general, especially those two rookies going down for the season. And I think that's a big reason why you're seeing guys like Ruben Lowry, guys like Keon Martin as well on the team as we lost those two guys. So those guys got their opportunity. And I'm glad a guy like Ruben Lowry is showing up, because football, again, is something that doesn't really it doesn't show up as much on film to the naked eye, to guys like Jason who watches film a lot, to guys like Coach Evans, Coach DC, all these guys in the Ravens community who watch film. They see it and they're like amazed by it, right? And they're like, they like easily, but to the casual fan, it doesn't really show up that much, but it shows up to the coach, and I think that's why he's in the fold with the Ravens now, and I hope he has a good season.
Love it. So I want to switch gears a little bit here. Something that I talked about with Sarah a little bit is that, like, the Ravens keeping their own, and fans get upset a little bit during free agent time because we're not in on some of these free agents, and I mean, some of them look like Ravens, you know what I mean? Like, you could envision them. We got the team need. The Ravens don't make an offer. We don't sign anybody on the first wave of free agency, and we sign. But, like, I'm almost thinking after I talked to Sarah that the fewer free agents we sign, the better shape we're in, because we're always signing our own guys. So it's like, if we don't have a Malachi Stark, say, we got to go out and sign Marcus Williams. You feel what I'm saying? Like, Patrick Queen isn't really handling the mic the way we want him to. We see him more as a will linebacker. We need a mic. We trade for Roquan. We pay him. You know what I mean? Matt Abike, we strike gold on a 3rd-round pick. We pay him. Ronnie Stanley, we hit. We pay him. Marlowe, we hit. We pay him. So now we still got Travis Jones, monster. We should pay him. Likely hit on him. We should pay him. Oway is going to get paid, maybe not by us with Mike Green now, but, like, I don't know. It's kind of this backwards way of thinking, simply that, like, the less we're spending, because we're going to spend up to the cap. We always do. But the less we're spending on free agents, we're paying Lamar. Don't want to forget the engine that makes the whole thing go. But the less free agents, the fewer big name free agents, money we spend, sign, the better shape the organization is in.
And I have to agree. You have to look. There's a reason why the highest paying teams in free agency the past, I think, 5-6 years have not made the playoffs. It's for that reason. You can't just buy yourself a ring. Can't buy yourself a playoff appearance. You have to draft well, develop well. And I think look at the quality of guys that didn't make the team this year. I think, Bo Braid probably makes damn near every other roster in this league. Jalen Armour and Davis, same thing. But we had an excess of guys and had 3 UDFAs that, played better than we thought and made the team. I think there's like 42 or 43 of the players on this team that we drafted, I want to say. So
Right.
That's what. Think about that. 9, 10, 11 guys that we acquired outside of this team. That's
insane. It's crazy. To do the quick math, 4 out of 5 is 80%. So you're talking over 80% of the team is homegrown. Wow. Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
And we, like I said, I don't think we, the guys coming up for contract soon. Zay, Isaiah Likely, Travis Jones, Owe, Marlon again. I mean, I think this is last year of his contract. Linderbaum, these are all quality players that we drafted that we might not be able to hang on to. So I'm grateful that, we don't go out there and splash the castle on some guys. The kid in me would love that, but just business wise, it's not the smartest thing to do. And it's seen that, Marcus Williams was good for about a year and a half, and that was a dud. So now you see why we draft guys like Malachi Starks. And hey, we'll get Ardarius Washington UDFA, a Ruben Lowry UDFA. Hell, we had Bo Braid last year UDFA. Because we can scout talent, stuff like that. That winning teams keep on winning because of that.
So, the other argument that I want to add to what Simply said before I kick it to you is, you see how these guys are in the meeting room, the cafeteria, how they treating the janitor and the CEO. I think one of the UDFAs, I think it was might have been Lowry that said this. Ruben Lowry, with that CEO mindset, is like, they treat the janitor the same way as they treat this. They treat the first round pick the same way as they treat a UDFA as a rookie tryout player. Like, that kind of professionalism you get to know of a player if you draft them, develop them, see them every day for 4 years and how they interact. Whereas if you bring in a player, not everybody's going to be like Deontay Johnson or nothing, but you don't know, you know what I mean? There's a certain unknown. So just to back up what Simply and I was saying, signing your own guys and having them produce on them second contract, just not signing them for sentimental reasons like some organizations to sell tickets, is really a good sign for the Ravens, because they're not afraid to let guys go. We've seen it before. The Adalius Thomas crushed me when we let him go. Zadarius Smith, Judon, we're not afraid to let guys go, and here we are signing some really talented players.
Yeah, and that's one thing that happens when you have a really well-run organization. They move off of guys right on time, and right on time tends to feel like it's early, and that's what felt like with some of those different guys that you just mentioned. And I really do have a lot of respect for EDC and how he runs this organization, how he again, 80% homegrown players on the roster. That's impressive. That's impressive. And to be one of the best teams in the league, but it does give me concern, guys, especially with guys like Kyle Hamilton getting the bag that he just got. I understand that he's going to be making about $20 million per up until about 2030, which is, amazing. But there are a lot of other guys, like my guy Alex just said, who still are in line to get paid. You know what I mean? Linderbaum, Travis Jones, who, to be honest with you, those two names right there, I don't think we keep both. Travis Jones and Tyler Linderbaum. So I actually want to ask you guys, who do you guys think is more likely that the Ravens keep? And I was kind of mulling over this earlier, Tyler Linderbaum, because he kind of helps out our Jack and keeping him comfortable with his center, or a Travis Jones who plays that one tech and can kind of really bulldoze guys and do what he does. Grade really high PFF. You look at him on screen, he jumps out at you. Who do you think that the Ravens would value more and sign to another deal? I think you're muted.
Muted.
Sorry, people are walking around upstairs. The floor was squeaking. Yeah, I think one of the boys is home. But I agree with Chris. I think Likely is getting paid before Travis, just because of Lamar's security blanket. I think that if you pay a tight end whatever he's worth, and likely doesn't have this like the body work that Mark Andrews had when he was signed. You know, he was Lamar's guy from the start. Likely is like, okay, well, the Ravens in negotiating views that look, you never had over however many catches in a season. So I think likely is the most likely, pun non intended, to be kept before Travis. And then after that, if you're asking my opinion, to me, a defensive tackle is more important than the center. Like when I watched Corey Bullock play, he looked fine. Why? Because he was smart. He recognized, he communicated. The quarterbacks are complimenting him on pointing stuff. They're like, yeah, Linderbaum is a plus player. But like there's 5 offensive linemen versus 4 pass rushers. The center is getting help or giving help all the time. So like where the Ravens are going cheap on guards, like I would almost do, and maybe paying Linderbaum top center money, I'm almost on the opposite with this, where I would pay a guard if I had to, like a Marshall Yanda, and just go with a smart, veteran, heady center. You know what I mean? Who, okay, if he's got a bad matchup, we'll help him. You know what I mean? But most of the time, he's going to be double teaming with the right guard or double teaming with the left guard, and isn't handling the Vince Wilforks of old on his own. So a little strong. I don't know if the Ravens feel that way. They probably won't really want Linderbaum. But for me, it would go likely Jones before Linderbaum.
Yeah. And watching back some of the playoff games, I actually had to watch it back today. Linderbaum didn't have the best of snaps in Buffalo. I know weather wasn't a factor, but if we're talking about guys who I need showing up in January, it's my center as well, unfortunately. So I might be leaning towards Travis Jones, and also I think what Linderbaum's going to be asking for, looking at what Creed Humphrey got, excess of 20 mil. I just don't think we can pay that. I also think the Ravens scouting believes if there's, a good center, maybe day 2, day 3, they can get him. Once again, Creed Humphrey, I think was a 3rd round pick, to me, the best center in the league. So I think it's a more replaceable position, they think, and it'll probably be Travis Jones getting extended before Linderbaum.
By the way, Samac still made the practice squad. I'm bringing those guys up again. I don't know if that's a hidden clue. I forgot the linebackers and Chandler Martin. Somebody pointed that out earlier. Apologize. Shout out to Chandler Martin, who played really well alongside of Jay Higgins this preseason. But yeah, man, there's a lot of free agents pending this year. We're not even talking about the D Hops and the Jair Alexanders and the Ardarius Washingtons, who are going to be free agents too. So, this feels like the year, bro. This feels like the time is now. The time was yesterday, but the time is definitely now.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. And I've talked about this multiple times on our channel. Like, I think that there needs to be sort of like a culture shift. And I know that might sound a little bit cliche, but I think that right now, going throughout a 7-game season and going into the playoffs, I don't feel as though there's any like fire. I heard Sarah talking about this before we came on. She said that 2020 team was forged in fire. You know what I mean? Having kind of like those alphas in the locker room, those guys who are going to be able to step up and in the face of adversity, not flinch. You know what I mean? And here's what I want to say about just really quick about the Kyle Hamilton deal. Kyle Hamilton has gone from, just kind of being a guy, not in the sense of his skill, but in the sense of like the value that he brings the team, to now being one of the highest paid players on the team. So I'm expecting a little bit more. Kyle Hamilton is a lot like Lamar Jackson, insanely talented, not very vocal, right? I feel like those are some of the things that need to change. Lamar Jackson even said himself, I need to be more vocal. He said that in multiple interviews this offseason. I think Kyle Hamilton needs to be another one of those veterans who steps up. Mark Andrews is a guy who I personally thought was one of those guys, but he kind of lost that title for me after not showing up at the podium, dropping that ball against the Bills, just being honest with you. But he is still a vet as well. But basically what I'm saying is, yes, Jason, this is the year, but we need our vets to really rally the troops when it matters most, because nobody's doubting that the Ravens have one of the best rosters in football. On paper, the Ravens are the best in the business, but I say it all the time, football's not played on paper, it's played on the field. And I fully expect the Ravens to be really regular and make it to the postseason. But when that adversity comes in the postseason, will they flinch? Right? That's my biggest question. That's my biggest concern, because monkey on the back only gets bigger and bigger and bigger the more times that you kind of bump and hit your head. You know what I mean? So it's only going to get tougher. It's not going to get any easier. But I think that this could be the year that they just make a concerted effort to get it all done. But somebody's got to step up and be a leader.
Appreciate you guys. Look, we ran a little long tonight, but I appreciate Simply, Sutton, Sarah. Yeah, the S squad joining me tonight. Just realized that. Thank you to everybody out there, the super chat. Of course, you can find Simply and Sutton on the Purple Rain podcast, but Mondays and Thursdays still. And then Sutton, I see you doing some overtime over there. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You know, the NFL season is ramping up, so just trying to put out as much content as possible. And yeah, it's pretty much every day now, and having a lot of fun with it. So yeah, it's been great. It's been great.
So make sure you follow those guys. And just a programming note, when we come back next Wednesday here on the show, we will be previewing this Bills game, really start digging into some matchups. Tonight was more of a fun night. And talking about the Kyle news and talking about the UDFAs. If you missed Sarah, you can certainly rewind and catch the conversation with her. I'm sure you guys love her as much as I do. But I wanted to thank Simply and Sarah and Sutton. Thank my football family. I apologize I wasn't doing great at the chat tonight, but I will be back next week, back in the flow, and really picking up your comments. So that's my bad on that. I didn't have much help tonight with that. I was just kind of enjoying my friends. So, but I love, thank you for all the members in here, the memberships. And if somebody can help Mr. James get his membership straightened out, I've tried to get back with him a couple of times. I don't know if anybody out there knows B. James, but he's trying to get a membership and doesn't know how. So if you can help that guy out, I would really appreciate it. I love Mr. James, and he hasn't been able to catch the show's live, so I can't be talking to him. Every video he's posting, I missed the video. So if you're watching this, Mr. James, there should be a button that says join right next to Huddle It Up Films on the video. And if you hit the join button, you can take it from there and have a membership, and you'll have that little thing by your name. And I make special posts to the members and get some requests. So with that, I want to say thank you to my football family. Love my football family. Thanks to everybody in the chat. I'll be seeing you, Chris, Zhang, everybody, Dario, Taurus, Percy back in, J-Dub, great seeing y'all. And we'll catch you next week with a more regular show, which I promise I will be more on my game. With that, Simply, last thoughts, man.
Nothing really much to say for this team. I know what the goal is, and I hate to say Super Bowl or bust. That's kind of where I'm at. So for me, season doesn't start next week. It starts in January, but got to get through there. Got to stay healthy. Got to play smart, and just want to see the best team in the league be the Ravens, and finish the story.
I'm optimistic. I'm more optimistic than Sutton. Sutton, give me something positive here for your close.
Positive. Okay. How about this? I'll keep it real simple. Mike Green, 10 sacks. Period.
There you go.
He's going to be that guy on third down. He's going to be the guy on third down by the end of the year.
Exactly. He's going to come in real fresh, especially second half. And he's going to be tearing tackles up, getting the quarterbacks. I think he gets one against Josh Allen week 1, third quarter. I'm calling it right now.
There we go. Bold prediction time from Sut. Hey, love you guys so much. And I'll be on your channel anytime you need me, brothers. And you know it. With that, thank you to my football family. Love my football family. I'll catch y'all next week at 9:00, and we'll have some Ravens Wired, maybe coming off at 8:00, and we'll go on after that. So love y'all. We'll talk to you later. Say good night to the people, fellas.
Good night.
Peace.
Good night, peoples.